Alright, so what is going on, guys? This is Faith back here. Welcome back to my channel. Alright. I was feeling a bit rusty lately, so video proficiency are kind of low. Alright, but however, here is the video explanation on Cerydra. Okay, so I got Cerydra and I got her Lycone too. Alright, in okay, that's Lycone, and then I got her E1. Okay, early, and plus I won the 50-50. Yeah, so this video will be a full breakdown on Cerydra and uh explanations on her synergy, on how she actually works and everything. Okay, so first thing, let's talk about her traces. So she has three bonus abilities, as usual. Alright, and for the other small traces will be wing damage boost, attack percent, and max HP. Why max HP? Because she needs to full stack attack, and therefore max HP is actually understandable because you need survivability on her. Right, so this is my current stats on Cerydra. So the only thing you need to keep in mind is actually her attack percent. Right, the attack you need to hit at least 4k. Alright, and then for speed, 150 or 160 will be fine, because when she uses her skill on one of the teammates, you can actually get how should I say this? You can actually get 20 extra speed. Yeah. So at that point you're going to get, this is going to be 170 if you enter battle with military merit for 3 turns. So crit rate, you don't really have to bother it, because one of her bonus abilities will increase her crit rate to 100%. Right? And crit damage, you don't really need to bother too much either, because you need to care about the attack percent more than the crit damage itself. And there are also ways to compensate the crit damage, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and then some ER, because you can quickly cycle the ulti back. And her ulti is kind of important in some way. So now I'll actually start explaining the traces. We're going to talk about the bonus abilities first. So later when I talk the skill, you'll understand how these things are actually related to it. So first I'm going to talk about VD. So this is one of the abilities I mentioned just now, which automatically increases your crit rate to 100%. And while her charge is below its maximum, the character with military merit using the ultimate grants Cerydra 1 charge. And this effect can only be triggered once per battle. So for those who don't understand what is military merit, technically it's just her skill granted to the ally. Right? Next will be VC. And when using skill, increases speed by 20 for this unit and the teammate with military merit, lasting for 3 turns. When the character with military merit uses basic attack or skill, regenerates 5 energy for Cerydra. So here, the first thing you need to know is this is the speed increase I mentioned just now. And when your character with military merit uses basic attack or skill, it regenerates 5 energy for Cerydra. Yeah, and it doesn't have a turn restriction. So this means if your character is fast enough, right, like deals a lot of action attack like frequently, then you can just like keep getting it back. But however, remember this is only by basic attack or skill. Means your ulti can't trigger it, and then your follow-up attack wouldn't trigger, and other like yeah, those can't trigger. Only basic attack or skill. She obviously mentioned it. Alright. Next will be Vinny. For every 100 of Cerdra's attack that exceeds 2000, increases her crit damage by 18% up to a max increase of 360%. So this is one of the reasons that I mentioned earlier why you need to stack attack to 4000, right? Because 4000 is the max proficiency you need to um make use of this bonus ability. Yeah. So here, if you have 3000, it will be 180%. If you have 4000, then it's 360%. Yeah, so technically this fixes her crit damage problem. So the one you saw just now, you have to add 360 on it too. Right. Next, let's start about talking about the more important skill part. Okay. So technique. After using technique gains military merit, and once you switch to the active character, your military merit transferred to the active character. And when you start battle, the military merit, which is her skill, will be auto casted to the character without using any skill points. Yeah, overall this is good for majority situations, right? Because you can start building up the stacks instead of wasting it for the chances to like actually proc on the character. Okay, next, her skill grants military merit to one designated ally character and gives Cerydra 1 points of charge. So charge is capped at 8 points. When charge reaches 6 points, it automatically upgrades to peerage and dispels their crowd control debuff. So the character with peerage is considered to have military merit simultaneously. Alright, the reason why they wrote this is probably something to do with E1. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. The character with peerage increases the crit damage for their skill damage by 72% and increases their all type respan by 10% and triggers coup de main. So what is coup de main is technically you can just think of it throws a copy of your skill but with this buffed, which is the 72% buff and 10% all type respan, before you cast your original skill on the enemy target. Alright, keep in mind this is only 2 enemy targets. So if you are thinking like auto cast Hyacinth skill twice, auto cast Gallagher skill twice, or any character skill twice, it doesn't work at peerage like situation. Alright, because it only works when the targeted ally with peerage or military merit is using the skill on enemy targets. So this is obviously the part where she became quite a controversial harmony character, because people are saying like, as a limited harmony character, you shouldn't be so niche or so biased towards a certain character. So before this version, back in the beta she is in, her V1 is dedicated to Painan only. Alright. It's only to Painan, and other people can rarely receive the buff. But I'm glad they changed a lot on V5 so that other people can actually benefit too. Yeah. And so after Coup the Maid ends, consume 6 points of charge to revert peerage to military merit. Yeah. So let me put this in short on how it works. So in battle, you can either enter through tanking or you cast skill once. So once you put your skill on the allies, the ally will have like military merit. So every time the ally takes action through basic attack or skill, then you can gain 1 point. And the charge can be capped at 8 points, alright? But once you reach 6, it will automatically upgrade to peerage. And during peerage, you will throw a copy of your skill with buff situation before your original skill. So this makes her like have really good synergy with skill reliant DPS, like obviously Archer, the one we got from um last version, okay, because his skill is one of the most reliable output source from him. Right, the next will be obviously Pinon, alright, because it's literally tailor-made for Pinon. And then next, I found it actually quite interesting with My Day, and she somehow My Day's best in slot for now, right? I don't know how, but somehow 3 God Slayer at once is just crazy. It's either every time it's just 2 or 3 God Slayers. Yeah, that's just crazy. And then some other characters you can actually benefit from is Doctor Ratio, Welt, and then Acheron, yeah, and then Sealy, and then yeah, technically other any characters that uses their skill as an output have a chance of being benefited from this. Right. Yeah. And then there are a ton of DPSs that I don't have, but they just like it sync well with Cerydra. Yeah. So that's from the skill. Now for her talent. First, the talent increases the character's attack with military merit by 24% of her own attack. So also one of the reasons why I say try to stack attack percent as much as possible. I know speed is important, but providing attack percent buff and trying to maximize this part of the bonus ability is actually really important too. Okay. And when a character uses basic attack or skill, Cerydra gains 1 charge. And during Coup de Main, which is like the peerage, Cerydra cannot gain charge. And after the character with military merit uses an attack, she will deal one instance of additional wind damage up to 60% of attack. And this effect can be triggered up to 20 times. So for now, I actually don't know how, like who else in the world can actually proc up to 20 times. The furthest I can think of is Fei Xiao, but somehow the 20 time tally is reset every time when Cerydra uses her ultimate. So for now, I really can't think of like many people that can fully use up the 20 times yet. Maybe in the future, I don't know. But for now, I don't really see it yet. Right? When and military melee only takes effect on the most recent target. So yes, you can change it on to other allied target characters, but the charge is immediately reset to 0. Okay, lastly, her ultimate, right? It gains 2 charge. It's pretty straightforward. Gains 2 charge. Deal wind damage equal to 240% of Ceridra's attack to all enemies. If no character on the field has military merit, prioritizes granting military merit to the first character in the current team. So this if you didn't enter combat with your like your Cerydra technique, because her technique allows you to auto cast military merit if you use and enter combat. So for example, if you didn't use this, then you can put a DPS in the first slot, and then Cerydra can just like cast ulti, so she will just get the like grant the first character and 2 charges. Yeah. Alright. Now to her Lycone part. Okay. Her Lycone part, so what I got here is her signature Lycone. And her signature Lycone, I would say it's pretty good for her and also kind of tailor-made for her. So what does it do? It increases the wearer's attack by 64%. Yes, you heard it right, directly 64%. So the moment if I remove this Lycone, my attack will be dropped to 1.8k. Yes, that is how crazy the Lycon like is actually providing. Yeah, and also if you switch to the other Lycon, like the event one, the Forever Victual, and then my attack will still be kind of low. It's 3.3k. Yeah, because the base attack is lower, and then the buff providing by it, like it's not direct. How do I say? It does not take effect directly, straightforward. Yeah, you need to like it says after the rare user's skill increases attack by 16%, second up to 3 times. So I mean if you max stack, you can your attack percent can definitely bypass the signature icon attack percent, but it's just attack percent. Yeah. So here, the signature icon, besides providing at 64% attack, using ultimate to attack recovers 1 skill points. Okay, so if you wanna look at how many characters they can actually use it to attack, yeah, dead as Yukong, and then there's actually 3B. Alright, hold up, we go to the data bank, because how many characters I don't have a lot of them. So the one that can actively attack is only 3B and Yukong and Cerydra, and everyone else cannot. Yeah, because everyone is like more to self buff or buffing teammates instead of like um attacking enemies. So yeah, this is kind of tailor made for Cerydra, and it recovers 1 skill point. So some people might feel like 1 skill point is just kind of not really good. But if you're in a final team, this 1 skill point can actually somehow change everything. And after the wearer uses their skill on one allied target character, increases the skill damage dealt by the target by 54% for 3 turns. Yes, all you need to do is to cast your skill on one allied target, and their skill damage will be increased for 3 turns. Yeah, 54%. So this is good for characters like Tigrin, okay, because her skill can be assigned to one designated character, and another one will be Bronya, and also Sunday or Sparkle. Like you can imagine a lot of how many characters being able to utilize this part, all right, for those who are more to buffer. But it comes with a problem. It only buffs Q damage. Yeah. So at the end, you still need to like check whether if it is possible for the person benefiting from this buff. Like, do they really need this skill damage, or like do they not really need it? But overall, every part can be utilized by a certain character. Like it's not like some other characters like Cone that cannot be utilized by others. Okay, overall, Harmony Lycones from in their own division is actually um kind of like usable here and there. It's just like not fully utilized sometimes. Yeah. All right, now talking about replacement Lycones, right? I would suggest the Forever Victual, and then to DDD, or you can use but the battle isn't over. Okay, but somehow the battle isn't over isn't the best choice. I would just recommend you all to use the Forever Victual instead. Yeah, because this thing give a ton of attack percent, which is what Cerydra actually needs. Okay, and also you can use DDD. This thing is how should I say this? This thing is broken. Okay, any Harmony character can use this. I'm not joking. Literally any Harmony character that can use this. Yeah. So there are also other Lycones, but for now I would just recommend either the signature, or either the Forever Victual or DDD. Alright. If you want more ER, you can just use the but the battle isn't over, or you can use Sunday Harmony Lycone. Sunday signature Lycone, okay? And technically a lot of it. Yeah. Okay. Uh that's all for Lycone. Now relics, okay? So I'm using Sacerdos, okay, because her skill can only be assigned to one person. So why not make use of Sacerdos and provide 36% crit damage? Yeah. Alright, of course there are other sets that can be used also, which is Eagle of Twilight line, because it allows like user to advance their fall by 25%. I mean, although sometimes it is important uh for Cerydra to like do lineups and everything, but uh it's more on a personal thing. Like every player had a different play styles. Yeah, so it's up to the player themselves. Alright, I also see people using Warrior Goddess of Sun and Thunder, but I I don't really like see this. Okay. Like the furthest you can benefit from this is just the speed. And then the 4 piece is like Cerydra doesn't really provide any healing. Unless there's a way you all can make it provide healing. But else like it like I don't really like find people using it. Alright. Next for the inner ring, which is the Plana ornaments. I'm currently using Lushaka. Okay, and you can also use Broken Kill, but the Broken Kill the buff Broken Kill provide is actually kinda mid, I would say. Alright, but you can use it for the effect rest. And then another one you can use is Bombwalk. So this thing, I believe I don't have to explain much. The most broken Plana ornament ever released in history. Okay. So depends on person. If you want more buffs for the first character, your first DPS in first character slot, you can use Lushaka. But if you wanna like go for zero cycle, although it's not really that important, if you wanna go for zero cycle, or you want higher score in Apok, yeah, which is Apocalyptic Shadow, then you can use one Wak. Okay. Else, I just feel, yeah, this is like my typical build. So the only thing you need to care about is attack percent and then speed. Yeah. So speed, and then speed, and then more speed. Yeah, it's just all about speed. Alright, now we talk about the Eidolons. I'm going to talk only up to E2, okay? Because anything above E2 is more to her personal type of damage. Like except for E6, like it provides the all type respond for the military merit unit. Yeah. Else, uh how do I say this? Like see E2 is enough. Right? Unless you really love the character, you just E6 it. Else like E1 or E2 will be really good now. So what does the E1 do? The character with Military merit ignores 16% of the target's defense when dealing damage. If military merit has been upgraded to peerage, then the character additionally ignores 20% of the target's defense when dealing skill damage. When Cerydra uses her skill, regenerates 2 energy for the designated ally target. So, as you can see, even characters with not skill skill output reliant, you can also benefit from 16% of the um defense signal from military merit. Okay, but for characters who can benefit from the military merit, which is the skill, once you upgrade to peerage, you additionally ignores 20% of the target's defense. So this ends up with 36% of defense ignore when you have E1 and she's in peerage. So yeah, and two energy might be a little bit off, but sometimes it does help. Okay, but more importantly, this one is more towards Fanon. And her E2, the character with military merit deals 40% increased damage. While a teammate on the field has military merit, her crit damage is increased by 160. So the second part is more to personal damage, but the first part is what actually caught my attention. So it says 40% increased damage. So this is almost very close to a Ting Yun out, right? Except it's just 12% lower than a Ting Yun out. Yeah, but overall E1 and E2 is really OP. And then 3, 5 will be skill, ulti, basic attack, and talent upgrades. And her E4 will be increase the damage multiplier. And then E6 will just be like additional damage increase and then outright respend by 20%. Yeah, but as a small spender or free to play, I'm free to play by the way. I haven't whaled yet. I almost whaled when I can't get the E1. Okay, but I got it lucky and early, so I didn't whale. The furthest you need to go will be probably E2, and because anything above it is just like not too worth it. Alright, unless you are a simp for the character, then just go for what you wanted. Okay, go for what you plan. So here I'm going to do a small demonstrate on the MOC. Okay, because this round of MOC is kind of okay for Finon, okay, and also for Cerydra. So here I'll be demonstrating our first half because I don't want the video to be too long. So here we have the premium team for not the premium but quite good team for Finon. Okay, so here my Finon as usual, I haven't changed anything on the builds. Then Cerydra, and then Ting Yun and Bronya. Bronya is on E3 and then Ting Yun's on E6. So you draw on E1 and Fan on E0. Okay. Here we are going to cast Cerydra skill. So here once you see this symbol here, it means you are going to have like the military merit. At the start of the next battle, Cerydra automatically uses skill on this character once. So if I swap to any character, it will be inherited to the character. Yeah. Okay, now we apply all the buffs and we enter battle. Alright, here. And then I'm going to Ting Yun out myself. So I'll advance the whole team with DDD. That's 5 by the way. Alright, and here my Cerydra is going to use skill because my skill can provide 2 stacks of buff Finon because it's E1. If you're at E0, you can only provide 1 stack. Yeah, so here see it's 4. The more I cast it, it becomes 6. Yeah, and then now I'm going to alt, and then alting gives her 2 charge. Right, so my Finon will become 4 charge. Here my Finon is going to skill. Okay, gains another 2 charge while it's at 5 stacks. Bronya is going to basic attack here for action advance. Alright, because I don't understand, even if she skilled just now, like you weren't able to max stack Finon. Yeah, so I'm trying to cap all the buffs on Finon before he enters the ulti form. Yeah. Here I'm going to out. So here I'm going to skill again. 6 stacks. Okay, that's peerage, the animation. So I basic attack to prevent the stacks from being consumed. Alright, next Bronya's turn. I'm going to advance. I'm going to out here. So using out will like provide one stack. Alright, but this only trigger once per battle. Okay, here I'm going to out. Yeah, 1.4 million. And then I took away two of the small things. Yeah, and then here, because of defense reduction, I just ended both of them. So here, I'm going to skill to advance them and also try stacking. So we all know that Finon or Aslana have 7 extra turns. Okay, so it's just the right amount to try to get another stack right after you trigger um, during this form. Yeah, so the whole goal here is try to like save your meteor when you are very close to 6 stacks. Alright, but just try not to waste it too much. Yeah. Like for example here I have Pool and then I'm going to advance again. Alright, upgraded to PRH and then I have my meteor ready. Okay, here I'm going to basic. Alright, weakness break, defense reduced, and I'm going to out. Alright, and yeah, so it's just as simple as that. And after the amount of turns Pinon like takes, because every basic or like skill will grant Cerydra 5 energy, and plus her ulti cost is actually not too expensive, it's just 130. So 7 turns like she'll get back 35 energy. Yeah, and especially when you double cast your skill, she will just get more. So I would say overall like you can get her ulti really easily. Yeah. So here is technically Cerydra. Okay, of course, besides Finon, we can also use Archer. Alright. We have Archer and then Cerydra. We can put our Trailblazer Remembrance form inside. And then we can put Gallagher and then that's it. Alright, and then I'm just going to enter the Archer. Alright, military merit. Pass. Okay, I'm going to skill. Yeah, I'm going to skill here also. I'm going to out. And this one's going to advance here. I'm going to basic, and then this one's going to skill again. And the out. And then going to out here. Force the robot to enter the special form. Okay, basic here, and then I'm gonna skill here. And then this one I'm gonna basic so I can get 6 skill points. Okay, so here is my Archer current situation, PRH. Okay, and then skill damage boost 54%. And then the E1 sees the crowns of all, ignore 16%, 20%. And then 120% from his own, like from the Guardian, and then 20 speed increase. Everything is just here. Sucker dose, and then other buffs is from other stuff. Okay, here we are going to out, not out skill. Okay, you auto cast twice. Then here I can out. Then I'm going to shoot again. Right, every action will be concluded into the charge. And then here I'm going to out because Archer helps Cerydra to charge it back up. Right, here I'm going to cancel it. And I'm going to bring back up. Basic. Yeah, and get PRH. Basic. And get basic. And like this skill. Out. Okay, one more thing I forgot to actually mention is when you cast skill, okay, how do you differentiate which one is the copy and which one is the original, right? When you cast skill, if you see there are like the blue UI effect on your screen, then that is the copy of the skill, which is the one with the peerage buff. And after that, you launch your original one. So like this, yeah, this one is the one of your copy one. So it's 298,000, and the second one should be higher, yeah, 327. Also, if you hit Archer with the if your Archer hits twice skill, it can also trigger his skill talent, which is when you cast skill for like 2 times, and then you can just like because we all know when Archer casts his skill, he can how do I say, he can increase the damage of his skill by 100% up to 2 stacks. So Cerydra can actually in a way help that um to fix not fix, to like help him stack into that state faster. Okay, I'm gonna basic here. 7 stacks, moving up. And then here I'm going to skill. Yeah, skill again. And then 6 stacks. Alright, here you will see this. Each stack increases damage dealt by skill by 10%, 100%. Right, not 10%. Photo class, shoot again, and then yeah, because I ran out of skill points. If I had sparkled, this situation would have been better, honestly. Yeah, okay. No, I'm not doing it either. Alright, so that's pretty much for Cerydra. Yeah. So the most fitting characters will be Finon and Archer. Of course there are other characters, but time video time constraints, I'm not going to do it unless you want a 40-minute video. Okay. You can also play with My Day, Acheron, and then Doctor Ratio, well, yeah, and DPS, well, and like ratio, all those things, yeah. But it's up to personal. For me, it's going to be Rhino and Archer most of the time. Yeah, so that's pretty much for this video. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope this video actually helped you. Right, and for those who are still trying to get Cerydra, good luck on your pulls. Okay, I hope you get Cerydra. And thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Peace.